According to Surah Al Talaq, chapter 65, verse 4, is it permissible to marry little girls? According to the verse of Surah Al Talaq, chapter 65, verse 4, it is absolutely not permissible to marry little girls. What do we mean by a little girl? There are verses in the Qur'an about the marriage age for wedding. In the verses that talk about the age of marriage, there's also an age of consent concept. In order for a girl to get married, she must have reached puberty. It is impossible for a girl to marry who has not reached puberty. This is not only contrary to the Qur'an and Islam, but also it is against nature. Regarding a girl who entered puberty and after puberty reached a certain age of maturity, the Qur'an says to check whether she has reached the age of maturity through a number of tests. Especially in the verse related to the orphans, it says to test them if they are able to do their economic management on their own, or whether they can effectively utilize money and goods. The girl getting married must arrive at the age of maturity so that she can administer such matters. Only a girl who has entered puberty and reached the age of maturity can marry. She cannot marry before this age. In some exegeses of the Qur'an, in the verse Surah Al Talaq, chapter 65, verse 4, not menstruating is interpreted as girls who have not reached puberty yet. And this is extremely wrong. First of all, this is a non-natural and non-medical interpretation. Because in this verse, it does not say menstruating girls, but says non-menstruating women. As a doctor, we can easily say that this situation is valid for adult women. There are cases called primary amenorrhea and secondary amenorrhea. Primary amenorrhea refers to women who have matured and even after they enter puberty have not yet menstruated, despite that their physical and sexual organs have developed. We see that there are a certain number of such cases in the population. In addition, secondary amenorrhea is a condition that we normally diagnose menstrual women with. We also often see that they stop menstruation for more than 3 months due to various psychological or biological reasons. This is what is mentioned in the verse. In other words, women who either go into puberty but have not had menstrual periods, or who have stopped menstruating even though they have had menstrual periods, are covered by both situations. When the verse says that these women have also claimed 3 months, unfortunately, some of the commentators make extremely wrong comments, like that it means that little girls who do not have menstruation can also marry. Moreover, Surah Al Talaq, chapter 65, verse 4's subject is the waiting period of delay after divorce, iddat. Again, we know that the period of delay is the length of time for a divorced woman to wait for her to marry another man. Again, we know from the Qur'an that a woman must have had sexual intercourse in order to wait for a period of delay. If she did not have sexual intercourse, that woman does not need to wait for a period of delay when divorced. This is stated very clearly in verse Surah Al Ahzab, chapter 33, verse 49 in the Qur'an, where it says, if you marry believing women and then divorce them before you have touched them, then there isn't any waiting period to count concerning them. So, in Surah Al Talaq, chapter 65, verse 4, a woman who is the subject of the verse is a woman who marries, the relationship is established, and divorces after that. When you interpret this such that you can marry a girl who has not yet reached puberty, can have intercourse with her, get divorced, and that girl's period of delay is as follows, then you will have committed a great tragedy. You would end up claiming that you can marry and have a relationship with a girl whose genitalia isn't sufficiently developed yet. This was not possible under the circumstances 1400 years ago, and it's not possible today. Under these circumstances, these girls could be fatally injured in such a situation. And even if they did not, they would end up living a terrible life. Perhaps they may not die due to surgical interventions available today, but it causes very serious traumas. It is not possible for the Qur'an to approve such a situation. Therefore, in regards to chapter 65 verse 4 or other verses, it is a great slander to the Qur'an to say that girls who have not yet entered puberty can marry.